Millz Young here, who's ready to bet on PFL. Me, that's who. So I'm going to be going over the PFL Season 10 Championship that's going on this Friday, Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving. Yeah. So the PFL organization, they've been running season tournaments now for the last couple of years now. I've been covering this organization for a while, ever since they came out on ESPN. I've been fortunate to actually work some of their media events for them over the last 2 years. So, I spoke to a lot of these fighters that's going to be fighting on this up-and-coming card this week. So the PFL is an organization I'm real familiar with too. They just bought a new not a new organization, but they just merged with Bellator, took over Bellator. So they're going to be having a lot of Bellator fighters coming in on 2024. Can't wait for that. I mean, that's a good thing too. I cover Bellator, so well represented in both these organizations when it comes to knowing who these fighters are. So this is going to be my first PFL prediction, and this is a good PFL prediction to go over because we have some great fights on the card to go over, and some of the fights ain't even on the main card that I'm going to be going over. Some of the fights is on the prelim, so you guys are going to have some ways to get paid even before the main card starts. The main card does start on pay-per-view, so if you guys are trying to watch it, that's how you guys are going to have to watch it, or just watch it how you can. But forget about all that, man. We're here to give you guys the picks and put some money in your pocket. So let's go ahead and get it started, man. I'm going to be talking about the first fight on the night, that has my little bit of attention. It's Kai Wu making his debut versus Phil Karakappa. It's going to be taking place in the bantamweight division. This is going to be the first time that the PFL has a bantamweight division. Kai Wu, 7-4 record. He's going to be the underdog in this fight. He's the guy that trains with Mark Zuckerberg, that everybody's been talking about. Now he's getting his shot in the PFL. So I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know too much about him. I did talk to him in media today. He did have some interesting stories to talk about, has some good finishes on his career. Finished the opponent by a Peruvian necktie. That's not easy to do. So when it comes down to it, I don't really know too much more about him than that. His opponent on the other side, he's fought some guys that's actually decent in his career. 9-3 record in there. For him to be a big favorite on here, a -2-1 favorite on here, it kind of doesn't make sense, because if you have a new guy that you're trying to build up for the promotion, as if I thought that they were, it seemed like, if anything, he would have an easier task out here. So I don't know which way to go in this one, but I'm going for Kai Wu. I hope he gets that one done. Next fight on the card I'm going to be talking about, man, this is a rematch? Nah, man, this is the third fight that is taking place. Bubba Jenkins, 21 wins, 7 losses, taking on Chris Wade, 23 wins, 10 losses. All right, so this fight's going to be taking place for the third time now. Chris Wade was able to get the first win. Bubba Jenkins was able to get the second win. Now, hey, they got to settle the score and see, hey, exactly who's the better fighter on here. Bubba Jenkins, the -170 favorite on the books. Chris Wade is an underdog. I spoke to both these fighters in there. None of these guys like each other at all. When it comes down to the accolades, Chris Wade, he can wrestle. He's a decent striker. He has okay cardio, not the best. He needs to keep it on the feet with Bubba Jenkins. He can't, let Bubba Jenkins get him down to the ground. Bubba Jenkins, on the other side, he's just a dominant wrestler. He's going to try to get you to the ground. If he's on the feet, it ain't going to be good for him. Bubba Jenkins last time out, he got knocked out against the guy fighting for the championship in this one, Jesus Panado. He wasn't able to get him down to the ground, and when he was on the feet, he was getting pieced up real bad. I think this fight is a little bit closer than what the line implements, though. Seeing how Chris Wade looked in the media days, all sucked in, he had some stuff to say, talking about, he's never going to make this weight again. This is his last fight at 145. Looks like he has 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out, maybe, I think Bubba Jenkins should be able to get this one done in there. Moving on to the next fight. Next fight that, is kind of worth mentioning, Bill Argio, Ali Wash, Muhammad Ali's grandson's is back on the card. 5-1 record. Always a big favorite. He's going to be taking on Joel Lopez. Don't know too much about his opponent. I usually just know this. Ali Bill Argio usually finishes people inside the distance. He's a big favorite on the card, though. So, yeah, I think Argio wins inside the distance. Next fight on the card, man, this is gonna be one for the belt, folks, for the $1 million, okay, for the featherweight title. Jesus Pineda, 22 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, taking on Gabriel Braga, 12-0. So Jesus Pineda, man, came in and just pulled the upset on everybody. Pulled the upset on Brandon Loughnane. Pulled the upset on Bubba Jenkins. He missed weight in his last fight. That's the one thing you got to look for. He's a guy, though, man. When he's out there to put you out. He's out there to finish his opponents. He just ain't going out there to fight. And that's one thing about him. He has decent striking. Doesn't really look to get the fight down to the ground. Looks to give you a war. So I think this is going to be a close fight. And the lines and the odds got it the same way. I think it's a -115. So pick them on either side you guys want to go with. Gabriel Braga, he came in, man. He was an alternate, I want to say, or he won the PFL Challenger Series and got in the tournament. And man, he's been good, bro. He's been putting people out. And this one, though, I think he's going to be undersized. Jesus Pineda is the way taller guy with the way bigger frame in this one. It's a close fight. It's a close fight, man. The way Pineda's been looking. All right, nah, man. I'm going with Braga. Yeah, man. Yep, I'm going with Gabriel Braga. The way that I see him look in his fights, he's been looking real good. But Pineda can give him problems. I say this fight's not going the distance. The pick's going to be Braga, though, man. But, yeah, this fight could go either way, man. Some good ones to watch, man. Hopefully you guys tune in. Next fight on the card, main card kicking off. Derek Brunson, UFC veteran, 23 wins, no losses, making his PFL debut out against Ray Cooper III at 185. 25 wins, 8 wins, 1 loss. 25 wins, 8 losses, 1 draw. Ray Cooper III, former 2-time PFL welterweight champion who won the tournament and won $1 million. Had to sit on the sideline, for some reason, because the PFL didn't want him to get in the tournament again this year or even get any fights. So that's what happened with him. That's why he hasn't been active. He's been on the sideline for over like a year now. On the other side, Derek Brunson, he was just in the UFC coming off of 2 losses against Dricus du Plessis, and then forget who else the other person he fought. But, PFL signed him. He's going to be their free agent, one of the big ones from the UFC. I think he's going to be moving down to welterweight, though, to fight in the tournament series next season. This is just going to be a showcase fight. PFL always does these things to where they have fighters that's not in the tournament, but they're fighting just to showcase, hey, man, these are the fighters that we have over here. Both these guys are wrestlers, so it's going to be wrestler versus wrestler. And then for the hands, both these guys can strike and put people out, too. Ray Cooper, last 6 wins, has 4 finishes in there. Derek Brunson, when he was early on in the UFC a couple of years ago, he was finishing opponents, too. I think this fight has Ray Cooper as a -160 favorite out there on the books. And I think Ray Cooper's going to get this one done, folks. I just think when it comes down to it, Derek Brunson is good at a lot of things, but Ray Cooper's like a hammer. And, I don't know, man. Like, Ray Cooper's hard to beat. And he had a saying when we talked to him in the media day, like, a lot of these UFC fighters come to PFL and think it's going to be easy. Then I show them how it's not, you know what I mean? And PFL, Ray Cooper already won it twice, So I think he's going to be out there putting on a show, and I think this one goes the distance, too. But, yeah, Ray Cooper III should get that one done, folks. Next fight on the card, women's fight. Women's delight. Kayla Harrison, 15 wins, 1 loss. Taking on Aspen Ladd, 11 wins, 4 losses. So Kayla Harrison was supposed to be taking on Julia Budd, but Aspen Ladd got called in on short notice because Julia Budd got hurt. Now we got Aspen Ladd versus Kayla Harrison. This is what we all thought was going to happen when Aspen Ladd actually signed with the promotion, but it's taking a little bit longer for it to happen. Now it's happening. Kayla Harrison went from a -700 favorite to a -1,000 favorite. Big favorite. But look, man, she's one of those fighters like Ray Cooper III, too. PFL had her sitting on the sidelines and didn't let her compete in the tournament and didn't even have her fight on any of the fights. The reason why, man, those 2 fighters are 2 of the staples in the promotion. I think they get paid a lot of money, and I don't think the PFL wanted those 2 fighters to win $1 million again. I think Kayla Harrison already won like $3 million. $2 million with them already. Was on her way to winning $3 million and lost. And Ray Cooper already won $2 million with them already. So I think they're like, hey, let's let somebody else get a turn this time. But Both those fighters are mad, man. When we talk to them, they're like, hey, don't ask me why I didn't fight. Don't ask me, you know. So they wanted to fight. When it's all said and done, I think Kayla Harrison gets this one inside the distance. Next fight on the card, this is going to be a good one, man. Impa Kassabny, 14 wins, 3 losses, taking on Josh Silva, 12 wins, 1 losses. Impa Kassabny, I used to interview this guy when he used to fight with the UFC. Real fan of this guy, man. You know, he's a fan favorite when it comes down to it, man. He went 2-2 in the UFC, and the UFC cut him. UFC cut him, then he went to Eagle FC, took a loss. Then he went over to XMMA, got a win over Jared Gooden. Then from there, he got into the PFL tournament as an alternate, folks. As an alternate, wasn't even supposed to be here. Not even at his weight class at 185. He's fighting at light heavyweight, 205, and beat everybody. You know, he's finally getting finishes in his career, something that he wasn't able to do early on. You know, and I think, man, I think this guy's something special, and I think I think this one's gonna be a close fight, man. On the other side, Josh Silva, man, he was right here last year, fighting for the championship and came up short, you know, right before getting there. Now, he has revenge on his mind. You know, this is a guy that wants to get you down to the ground, you know, submit you, put you on all type of holds and see what he can do and get you up out of there. He's a first-round fighter. What I mean is, in that first round, he's going to give you everything. He's going to give you so much to where if you can't withstand that first round, you're going to be done, you know. But then after that, he kind of slows down. But he has decent hands, decent strikes too. You know, he has power. I think this fight could go either way, but I think Impa Kassabny has more ways to win. I think it goes on to the later rounds, and Impa Kassabny gets it done with the round 3 KO. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that, man. As long as he can get up from the takedowns, because Josh is going to try to get him down to the ground. You know, get up from the takedowns, keep this on the feet. I think Impa Kassabny could actually, like I said, finish him in like round 3. Next fight on the card, it's going to be another good one, man. Magomed Makarov takes on Sadabasi. Oh, man, this one's going to be good, man. Both these fighters fought already, man, so it's going to be a rematch, okay? Sadabasi won the championship last time out, man. It surprised a lot of people, and this year he's been looking good. He's been finishing a lot of his opponents. He just didn't look as decent as he should have in his last fight out against Carlos Leal, but he still got the job done and got the win, and we cashed on it. Man, I like this guy a lot. I interview him a lot. You know, he's a cool guy. We talked about champions versus champions, and, you know, he's been with the organization for a while. You know, and the organization stuck behind him. Magomed Makarov is one of those Russian fighters, Dagestan type wrestlers that's going to get you down to the ground, but his hands is good too and the striking is good. He's won the championship already before, and he's one of those guys to where sometimes he doesn't even start the tournament when it begins. He gets in like after like 2-3 fights to where you need points and gets in and finishes opponents in the first round and gets in the tournament. So, yeah, man, he's dangerous, man, when it comes down to it. The betting favorites, I think they got Magomed at -170 roughly. Man, yeah. Man, I think Magomed gets it done. Yeah, by decision. You know, it's going to be a close fight. But it's either going to be Magomed gets it done by decision or Sadabasi gets him out with another KO finish. Whatever it is, man. My pick says Magomed wins. I hope Sadabasi can win. You know, that's what I hope, you know. But hey, hope don't pay the bills, and you know, I just gotta keep it real. All right, now look, man, I need everybody to smash that like button for me, man. Why? Because Thanksgiving is here, and it's Thanksgiving time. What you eating on, man? What's the best thing on Thanksgiving? Okay, because we talking about PFL, and that's going on the day after Thanksgiving. So we're on Thanksgiving week, okay? It might even be Thanksgiving today if you're watching it. All right, man. Next fight going on. Larissa Pacheco, 22 wins, 4 losses. Take him on Marina Makakana. Okay, man. This fight's going to be wrestler versus striker, grappler versus fighter. Pacheco's the striker. She's the fighter. Makana's going to try to get her down to the ground. Pacheco's a big favorite. She already won the championship last time and did the unthinkable and beat Kayla Harrison. Yeah, Pacheco beat Kayla Harrison. Former UFC Ultimate Fighter That's where she came from. Then she was in the UFC for a couple of fights. Came over to the PFL, man. She got her name known, man. She's going for win after win. She's one of those women nobody can really mess with in the division besides Kayla Harrison. And she put out Kayla Harrison. Big favorite in this card. The other girl we made money on last time, man. She likes to finish opponents just too with ground and pound. I think Pacheco gets this one done inside the distance, folks. Next fight on the card going to be a banger. Co-main event. Renan Farrell, 11 wins, 3 losses. Man, big foot, big guy. Taking on Dennis Goldstein, 32 wins, 7 losses. Dennis Goldstein is like a 260 favorite on the books out there. Renan Farrell, he's one of those guys that can put you out with any punch. He's dangerous, but as the fight goes, if that one punch isn't working, he's slowing down. I like Dennis Goldstein in here. Been backing this guy for a while, making money on him. I think he gets it done in this fight for sure. Main event time. Let me not say for sure, like I'm so confident because Fiera can pack a punch and anything, but I think Ghostoff gets that one done. Main event time, let's get it on. Clay Collard, 24 wins, 10 losses, taking on Olivier Mercier, 20 wins, 5 losses. OAM, the Canadian gangster, came from the UFC. Now he's in the PFL and he's been undefeated, man. I think he's on like a 6-fight win streak. He's the former champion who won the tournament last year. He's a wrestler, grappler, chain grab. He's gonna keep you up against the cage, get you down to the ground. Once he gets you down to the ground, control you down there. You ain't getting up. The strikes hit you when he needs to, but it's all about controlling time. On the feet, he's decent. He's not going to be there to get hit worse harm's way. Once the strikes comes in, he's smart enough, and gets you down. That's his type of style. Clay Collard's a boxer out there, folks. He's out there moving, slick with the punches, the best head movement. Former boxer, was boxing before he came to the PFL. So he's out there with his hands down at all time. He came up short last time out in the tournament. He was able to put out Shane Burgos in his last fight out. He's a big underdog in this one. OAM's a minus 240, minus 220, I want to say, on the books. PFL wants Clay Collard to win. Why? I don't know. I just think that. But it ain't all about what you want. Sometimes the way that OAM goes out there and fights, nobody's going to be able to stop him in here. And if Clay Collard can't stop those takedowns, I think this is going to be an OAM show, folks. I think the Canadian gangster is going to win this one. Yeah, man. So now look, man. If you guys want to see exactly what I'm betting on, my best picks, my best props for this card, hey, check out my premium picks up there. We got it all up there on the site. Now, look, man, I'm going to give you guys a 2-team parlay that I think is going to win on the fight card, man. I'm going with Dennis Ghostoff, and I'm going to go with OAM. Parlay those two. Hey, I call that my bulletproof parlay. Pow, pow, pow. We shooting. All right, now, Millz Young here, part of Pick Dawgz. If you can't roll with the Pick Dawgz, stay on the porch.